I am not a stranger to Coccidia, but it's one of those illnesses where some years are harder than others. I don't know if it has to do with how cold the winter is, how hot and wet the environment is earlier. It's definitely something that seems to be environmentally driven though. When your climates get hot and moist seems to be when there is an uptick in Coccidia within our flocks. I would like to address and answer a lot of the comments and questions that I've been getting on my videos over the last couple days. If you follow me on Facebook, if you don't follow me on Facebook, the page is Mojo Homestead FL Official. Over the last 2 days, there have been so many great discussions and comment threads about different treatments for Coccidia, different treatments for mites, including a treatment for mites that is a medication that you can put into the water. There has just been a lot of information discussed amongst different breeders and different people with a lot of experience and insight. So I would definitely invite you to go check those out because I even learned some things. Coccidia seems to primarily affect negatively younger birds. For me, it's usually birds less than 16 weeks. And here is the deal. Coccidia is a protozoan parasite that attacks the gastrointestinal tract, honestly, of most baby animals. Coccidia is present in the gastrointestinal tract of most baby animals. I've seen it in kittens, I've seen it in puppies, I've seen it in goats, I've seen it in chickens. Ideally, what happens is as the bird is growing and maturing, they will develop natural immunities to the parasite and you won't ever see negative consequences. This is why sometimes in older birds, like when you have a fecal done, you'll see Coccidia present in their feces, but it's not necessarily causing them to be lethargic or have bloody stool. They have developed natural immunities. Sometimes with these baby chicks, for whatever reason, something happens and the parasite builds up so much that we begin to see negative consequences such as blood in the stool or when they do, it happens so quickly. Like I've been saying in previous videos, in years prior to this, the Coccidia has looked differently for me. And what I have learned is that there are different strains of Coccidia that attack different areas in the gastrointestinal tract. And they could, well, I mean, they all end the same, okay? But typically for me, there have always been signs of blood in the stool, lethargy, chickens off to themselves, popped up. I've been able to see, oh, these chicks. And when I see symptoms like that in baby chicks, I know I need to treat for Coccidia. I have always treated with Corid when seeing those symptoms successfully and quickly. This year, however, the first symptom of Coccidia in my flock was and then quickly followed by many, and I have had many losses at this point. So, under the suggestion of many of you who have tried different medications other than Corid, whose active ingredient is amprolium, which is also the active ingredient in medicated feed, I'll get to that. I ordered a medication from Jed's Bird Supply called Endocox, and it works to attack the Coccidia directly. It's a 2-day treatment as opposed to the Corid, which works to starve the Coccidia of B vitamins and thiamine and works over a period of 2 weeks. Theoretically, Corid could be a good preventative, but in this case that I'm having right now, where these birds are just dropping overnight, it's not working fast enough, and I have lost a lot of chicks. And here's the thing that I've been saying that's really interesting. I have many chicks in the soil right now of different ages. I've been hatching every month, not by choice, but because shit's just been happening, okay? And the birds who are about 3 to 4 months old are not affected by the Coccidia. It's all the birds that I put out within the last 2 weeks. And here's why I believe this is happening. I believe that they were about 3 weeks when I put them on the soil, and I think that they just hadn't begun to build up enough of the natural immunities before they were overexposed to Coccidia in the soil. Coccidia is present in the soil from animals defecating. It continues to build up in the soil when the chicks are defecating in the soil, and then the heat and the moisture, and it blooms and multiplies. The older birds are not affected because they had already built up natural immunities to it. The younger birds didn't have enough time to do that. Sometimes even with all of the best preventatives, these things still happen and we need to just know how to treat. But perhaps some things that may help with the next bunch of chicks that I put on, I'm traumatized. I'm scared to put any more chicks in the soil right now, but waiting until they're as old as possible. Maybe I could keep them inside a couple more weeks to give them a little bit more time to build up natural immunities. That may help. The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is maybe putting them in I have a different pen that I could put them in. I may put them in that pen. Now here's the thing, Coccidia is likely already present in the soil. As they begin to defecate in that soil, the Coccidia is going to multiply. So I'll have to be mindful, and I may have to treat preventatively, because what I've just experienced may just be showing me that this is the time of year where Coccidia is multiplying, it's present, and I need to be really proactive right now. But on new fresh soil, they might be more likely to have a better fighting chance than this most recent batch of chicks. And that the fact that it is naturally occurring in their gastrointestinal tract, and that when they defecate they're likely shedding the Coccidia anyways, is kind of like suggestions like barn lime are great. New soil, tilling the soil is great, but there is always the possibility, because they're going to be shedding parasite anyways, that the Coccidia is still going to build back up in the soil. So I don't want to give any false hope by saying just put new dirt out there or just put barn lime down and that will remedy the problem. It may help to slow down the problem or give them a fighting chance, but we still need to be looking for symptoms and may still need to treat proactively in these hot, moist environments. Here's the other thing, I'm not alone in this. So many of you are messaging me with Coccidia issues right now, and so many, like thousands of you have been commenting on my posts about dealing with Coccidia over the last couple days. And it's not just on the soil, it's in brooders too. And not only that, some people have messaged me suggesting that I should vaccinate my chicks and that I should use medicated starter feed. So those things are available too if you were into that. Personally, I prefer, listen, this has been a rough year, okay? I've never seen losses this quickly from Coccidia. Like it's been different. It was like a different strain or something. I, in general, prefer to allow birds to build up natural immunities, okay? The medicated feed works, again, the active ingredient is amprolium. Amprolium works by blocking B vitamins and thiamines and essentially starving out the Coccidia. It concerns me to feed that to baby chicks in their like most developmental, like growing stages, to starve them of particular vitamins. Some people really swear by medicated feed. Some people say they still got Coccidia anyways. So I don't know about that. Right now, like I said, I'm gonna go with the Endocox. I'm gonna try a different medication and see how that works for my birds. I'm gonna try putting new chicks out a little bit older if I can, although it's tough. I'm hatching and rotating chicks, so I'm gonna try to put them on a different soil and see if that gives them a little bit more time and space to build up natural immunities and at a lower exposure to the Coccidia in the soil than in the spot that I know is already like hyper infected, right? Some other things that are valuable when treating or preventing Coccidia are fresh sunlight, keeping the coop like as dry as you can, and scooping out like nasty, muddy, poopy areas of the dirt where you can. Adequate space requirements, not packing in a shit ton of chicks into one area will be helpful. But again, sometimes even with all these things, the best thing we can do is just be prepared to treat. And I can tell you though, even though I've experienced tremendous loss this year, last year I didn't treat anybody at all year. Like, it's not all years are this way, and I don't know how the universe, like the environment just picks. It's gotta be those damn jackrabbits.